Good day everyone, my name is Liro Van Albarata and today we will discuss Chapter 8, Philosophies of Education, and the lesson 1 topic, which is our philosophical heritage, philosophies of education.
And we will going to talk about the topic our philosophical heritage of philosophies of education together with my groupmates Vanessa May Halyarda, Ramina Rose Cancero, Lee Roven Barate, Irish Kane Castronuevo, and Nai Sumata. And the next is the table of contents. To start with the introduction, essentialism, progressivism, perennialism, existentialism, behaviorism, linguistical philosophy, constructivism, and the takeaways.
So, education at its core is a reflection of human thought and society. From ancient Greece to modern classrooms, diverse philosophical ideas have shaped how we teach, learn, and perceive knowledge. So, the philosophies of education delve into fundamental questions like what is the purpose of education? How should knowledge be imparted and acquired? What role do teachers and students play in this dynamic process? So, each philosophy offers unique insights influencing curriculum design, teaching methods, and educational policies. So, to further understand the different philosophies, each one of us will discuss our topic. So, let's dive into it. So, the first philosophy is essentialism. Essentialism is an educational philosophy that emphasizes the importance of teaching essential knowledge and skills, rooted in the belief that there are certain core subjects and foundational principles that everyone should learn. Essentialism focuses on a structured and disciplined approach to education. The aim is to develop students' intellectual and moral qualities, preparing them to be responsible and knowledgeable citizens. So, essentialism in education prioritizes teaching foundational knowledge and skills deemed essential for all students. So, it advocates for a structured, disciplined approach to learning core subjects. The main goal of essentialism is to cultivate intellectual and moral development, equipping students to be informed and responsible citizens. So, essentialism as an educational philosophy is most closely associated to William C. Bagley, an influential American educator in the early 20th century. So, William Chandler Bagley was born on 1874 and died on 1946. He was an influential American educator, author, and editor. He is best known for being a leading figure in the essentialist movement in education, which emphasized the importance of teaching fundamental subjects and maintaining high academic standards. So, Bagley opposed many practices of progressive education, and he also advocated for a rigorous curriculum of traditional subjects. He also focused on improving teacher training and believed in the value of knowledge for its own sake. So, there are different key principles of essentialism. So, the first one is the core curriculum. It focuses on essential subjects like reading, writing, mathematics, science, and history. So, core curriculum. This principle emphasizes the importance of a fundamental set of subjects that all students must learn. So, these subjects typically include reading, writing, math, science, and history. The idea is to provide students with a strong foundation of essential knowledge and skills that are considered crucial for their overall intellectual development. And the next one is the teacher-centered instruction. The teacher-centered instruction is it is where the teacher is seen as the authority figure responsible for imparting knowledge and maintaining discipline. So, in teacher centered instruction, essentialism places the teacher as the center of the learning process. So, the teachers are viewed as the primary sources of knowledge and authority in the classroom. So the teachers direct the learning activities. They also provide clear instruction and ensure that students are on track with their educational goals. And this approach aims to maximize effective teaching and learning through structured and guided instruction. So the next one is emphasis on hard work and discipline. So, on emphasis on hard work and discipline, students are expected to put in effort and follow a rigorous learning process. So, so it means that essentialism values the development of strong work ethics and disciplines in students. The belief is that hard work and consistent effort are key to achieving academic success and personal growth. So teachers encourage students to develop good study habits, perseverance, and self-discipline, which are seen as essential qualities for lifelong learning and achievement. The next one is the objective standards. Objective standards, assessments, and evaluation based on objective criteria and measurable outcomes. So, objective standards, this principle advocates for maintaining high academic standards and using objective measures to assess student performance. So, essentialists believe that rigorous evaluation and standardized testing are necessary to ensure that students meet educational benchmarks and achieve a high level of competency in core subjects, which are the reading, writing, math, and science. So this approach aims to create accountability and provide a clear framework for evaluating the student progress in school. So essentialism in education provides a clear framework for why we teach, what we teach, and how we teach. So in why teach, essentialism is grounded in the belief that education's primary purpose is to impart essential knowledge and skills necessary for the students to become productive, well-informed, and responsible members of society. So that means that essentialism emphasizes the importance of strong educational foundation. So its primary purpose is to equip the students with fundamental knowledge and skills that are deemed essential for intellectual and moral development. So this framework ensures that students are prepared to become responsible and informed citizens who can contribute meaningfully to society. And in what we teach is what to teach. So essentialism focuses on a core curriculum that includes fundamental subjects such as reading and writing, which is to develop literacy and communication skills, which is also important for a student to learn. And mathematics is to foster logical reasoning and problem solving abilities, which is very useful as well. And in science, it is to cultivate an understanding of the natural world and scientific principles. And in history and social studies, to provide a sense of historical context and civic responsibility. So the focus of what to teach and what we teach is the focus is on a core curriculum that includes essential subjects such as reading, writing, mathematics, science, and history. So these subjects are considered vital for a well-rounded education, providing the students with the necessary tools to understand and engage with the world around them. So the curriculum is designed to be rigorous and challenging to ensure a deep and thorough understanding of these foundational areas. And in how we teach, the essentialist approach to teaching is characterized by a teacher-centered instruction. Teachers are seen as the authority who direct learning and maintain the classroom order. So the teacher is like the one in charge. So students are her or his followers. So in discipline and order, a disciplined and orderly environment is essential for effective learning. So discipline and order is important because if there's no order around the classroom, there's no knowledge. Okay. So in repetition and practice, the mastery of essential knowledge and skills often requires repetition and practice. So teachers has to be the master of their craft because I believe that you can't share knowledge to your students if you yourself don't have it. And yeah, high academic standards. The teachers set high expectations for student performance, encouraging students to strive for academic excellence and rigor. So, in high academic standards, the teachers have set high expectations for students' performance, which is helpful because if the teacher has set that expectations, it will make the students strive harder to learn and gain knowledge. And so, in essentialism, teacher centered instruction is its key characteristic. So the teachers are seen as the very first sources of knowledge and authority in the classroom. So the teachers guide and direct the learning process. They also maintain a structured and disciplined environment inside the classroom. So in how we teach, this approach emphasizes the hard work, discipline, and adherence to high academic standards. And by focusing on these aspects, teachers can effectively impart essential knowledge and skills to their students. That's all, and the next philosophy will be discussed by the next person. Thank you.
Progressivism. Progressivism in the philosophy of education is an educational theory that emphasizes the importance of experience, critical thinking, and problem solving in the learning and process. It emerged in the late 19th century and 20th century, largely influenced by the ideas of philosopher John Dewey. Progressivism seeks to develop well-rounded individuals who are capable of independent thought, social awareness, and adaptability in ever-changing world. Objectives. The objectives of philosophies of education are to provide frameworks that guide and practice the purpose of education. These philosophies aim to shape how educators approach teaching and learnings, as well as influence the goals of education system. The objectives of philosophies of education guide educators to practice, foster the development of student full potential, promote social justice, and prepare individuals for responsible participation in the society. Curriculum. In the philosophy of education, progressivism is a student-centered approach that emphasizes active learning, critical thinking, and problem solving. The progressivist curriculum designed to reflect the needs, interests, and experiences of the student, promoting personal growth and preparing them for active participation in society. John Dewey is the most prominent philosopher associated with progressivism in education. He advocated for learning by doing and believed that education should be based on the needs, interests, and experiences of students. Dewey also emphasized the role of education in fostering democratic citizenship and social image. It aims to prepare students not just academic knowledge but with skills and mindset necessary to navigate and contribute to an ever-changing world.
Good day everyone, my name is Ramina Rose Agancero and I will discuss about perennialism. Perennial means everlasting or something that returns year after year. During the medieval period, the idea of perennialism was first formulated by St. Thomas Aquinas in his work De Maestro. Perennialism is a teacher-centered educational philosophy that focuses on everlasting ideas and universal truths. To clarify, perennialism suggests that the focus of education should be the ideas that have lasted for centuries, believing the ideas are as relevant and meaningful today as when they were written. As implied by its name, perennialism is based upon the belief that there are everlasting ideas and universal truths. Therefore, the primary goal of education within this philosophy is to search for and disseminate truth. In addition, this philosophy of education advocates for the cultivation of human interest. And now I will discuss about the aims of perennialism. First, the central aim of education should be to develop the power of thought. Second, they view the universal aim of education as the search for and dissemination of truth. They look up to the school as an institution designed to develop human intelligence. Third, ensure students acquire understanding about great ideas. Lastly, the goal of perennialist education is to teach students to think rationally and develop minds that can think critically. A perennialist classroom aims to be a closely organized and well-disciplined environment, which develops in the student's lifelong quest for the truth. Next, the curriculum of perennialism. First, the school's curriculum should emphasize the recurrent themes of human life. Second, the perennialist prefers subject matter curriculum which includes history, language, mathematics, logic, literature, humanities, and science. Lastly, I will discuss about the role of perennialist teacher. First, the teacher must be a master of discipline. The teacher has the authority and expertise not to be questioned. Second, the role of the teacher becomes one of training an intellectual elite who will one day take charge of passing these on to a new generation of learners.
Good day everyone, my name is Nai Sumatra and now we will be discussing the existentialism or existentialism is rooted from dehumanization of man by technology and reaction to the traditional philo of Kant and Hegel. And it's defining the features of existence precede essence, known as the philo of subjectivity, and it also stresses on knowledge about realities of human life and the choice that each person has to make. And existentialism is also focuses on the individual's freedom to choose their own purpose in life, or in short, every individual's define their own essence through their choices and actions. And to move forward, the objective of existentialism is to help students to understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. And since existence precedes essence, the existentialist teacher's role is to help students define their own essence by exposing them into various paths they make in life by creating an environment in which they freely choose their own preferred way. And on the objectives of existentialism, it helps students to understand and appreciate themselves as a unique individual, and it also encourages students to take full responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions, and teachers guide the students to define their own essence by exposing them into various life paths and creating an environment for free choice. And according to curriculum, students are given a wide variety of options from which to choose or which they would be in the future. And the humanities are given tremendous emphasis to provide students with a vicarious experience that will help unleash their own creativity on and self-expression. Methods are geared on giving opportunities for the students for self-actualization and self-direction. And for overall, It emphasized the humanities to provide experiences that foster creativity and self-expression. And on teaching strategies, methods focus on the individual, or learning is based on the willingness of the student to choose and give the meaning to the subject. And the character development is through the responsibility of the every individual or student in making their decisions or a decision in life. And to help students know themselves and their place in society, teachers are employ values clarification strategy, like in the use of such strategy. Teachers remain non-judgmental and take care not to impose their values on their students, since values are personal. And the next strategy of the teachers is use values clarification strategies in remaining non-judgmental and avoiding imposing their values on students. And the great example on existentialism is if a teacher might offer a variety of projects for a literature class and allowing students to choose one that resonates with their personal interest in life. One student might choose to write a personal essay about it, and another might create a visual art piece, and another student might perform a dramatic reading, and the teacher supports each student in exploring their chosen path and encouraging self-expression and personal growth. And to move forward, let's talk about the behaviorism. Behaviorism is rooted in the work of Russian experimental psychologist Ivan Pavlov and American psychologist Jan Watson in the early 90s. And asserts that human beings are shaped entirely by their external environment, focuses on the acquisition of new behavior based on environmental condition, or in short, behaviorism focuses on observable behaviors and their modification through conditioning, and emphasizes the acquisition of students' new behavior based on the environmental condition. And the objective of the behaviorism is, so it focuses on the acquisition of new behavior based on the environmental conditions, and behaviorist schools are concerned with the modification and shaping of students' behavior by providing a favorable environment, since they believe that they are a product of their environment, and they are after students who exhibit desirable behavior in society. And it modifies and shapes students' behavior by providing a favorable environment. And according to the curriculum, man by nature is neither good nor bad, but a product of his environment. Hence, an autonomous acting man is but an illusion, since it negates the faculty of free will, or because behaviorists look at people and other animals as complex combination of matter that act only in response to internally or externally generated physical stimuli. Behaviorists and also behaviorist teachers teach students to respond favorably to various stimuli and in the environment. According to teaching strategies, behaviorist teachers taught how to arrange environmental conditions so that the students can make the responses to stimuli or physical variables like light, temperature, arrangement of furniture, size, and quantity of visual aids have control to get the desired responses. Teachers ought to make the stimuli clear and interesting to capture and hold the learner's attentions, and they ought to provide the appropriate incentives to reinforce positive responses to weaken or eliminate negative ones. Or behaviorist concepts include mastery learning and standard-based education, which is teacher may use reinforce to strengthen positive behaviors and weaken negative ones. So, a sample on the behaviorism is if a teacher might use a token economy system in classroom where students earn tokens for a positive behavior such as completing assignments on time or participating in class discussions. These tokens can be exchanged as a rewards like extra recess time or small prizes. This system reinforces desirable behaviors can help, and it helps shape students' actions through positive reinforcement. That's all. Thank you so much, and the next reporter will be Vanessa May Halyarda.
So next we have philosophical linguistic. This is an approach and philosophy that tends to see philosophical problems as arising from inappropriate theoretical use of language and therefore as being resolved by detailed attention to the common use of expressions. So this approach helps problems that are made through misunderstanding because of the language that is being used, that the other one would misunderstood the word because of the language you use. So this creates a problem between two people. And so this approach will help to resolve such problems communicating properly. So the objectives of this approach is first to develop the communication skills of the learner, the ability to articulate and to voice out the meanings, and teachers teach to develop in the learner the skill to send messages clearly and receive messages correctly. So basically, the objectives of this approach is to develop and enhance more the communication skills of learners, specifically in using words properly, the tone, pacing, and the volume of our voices to have a clear and concise message so that the receiver would understand correctly the message that you want to rely on. This approach also have the objective to taught us to choose the content of our message, the arrangement of our words, and also our body language that usually misinterpreted by others. So for the teachers, these are some of the teaching strategies to met this approach. So the most effective way to teach language and communication is the experiential way. So when we say experiential way, the children should experience a certain situation where they can use the language and communication, like making them experience sending and receiving messages through verbal, nonverbal, and paraverbal manner. Teachers should make the classroom a place for the interplay of minds and hearts. The teacher facilitates dialogue among the learners and between the students because in the exchange of words, there is also an exchange of ideas. So one of the activity for this approach is acting, where it concerns the language and communication for the learners to learn the proper use of language and how it affects to the receiver if you use some words inappropriately. In this way, as the learners experience a certain situation where the receiver would misunderstood the idea of the sender, that will lead them to have a problem. The learners learn from the experience on how important to have a proper language and communication. Next, philosophical heritage is constructivism. This is a philosophy of learning where it asserts that reality does not exist outside of human conceptions. It is the individual that constructs reality by reflecting on his own experience and gives meaning to it. Learning is the process of adjusting one's mental modes to accommodate new experience. So this philosophy of learning states that learners construct knowledge rather than just passively take in information, as knowledge isn't a thing that can be simply deposited by the teacher into the empty minds of the learners. Rather, knowledge is constructed by learners through an active mental process of development. Learners are the builders and creators of meaning and knowledge. Their minds are not empty. Instead, their minds are full of ideas waiting to be midwife by the teacher with his skillful facilitating skills. So the objective of this philosophy is to develop intrinsically motivated and independent learners adequately equipped with learning skills for them to be able to construct knowledge and make meaning of them. This means that this will help the learners to construct knowledge in a natural and independent way through their pre-existing knowledge and make meaning of them. So the teaching strategies is in the constructivist classroom, the teacher provides students with data or experiences that allow them to hypothesize, predict, manipulate objects, pose questions, research, investigate, imagine, and invent. The constructivist classroom is interactive. It promotes dialogical exchange of ideas among learners and between teachers and learners. The teacher's role is to facilitate this process. So, example of this is to give a certain image without describing it and make them hypothesize and think about the image so that the idea that they will construct will share it to the class as constructivist classroom is an interactive. So in this way, they could interact through sharing their ideas. So in summary, we have a very rich philosophical heritage, but only 7 philosophies were discussed here. The essentialism, progressivism, perennialism, existentialism, behaviorism, linguistic philosophy, and constructivism. The 7 philosophies differ in their concept of the learner and values in why do we teach, which is the objectives, what should be taught, which is the curriculum, and the how should the curriculum be taught, which is the teaching strategies. However, there exist also some similarities among the philosophies. So these philosophies are important as this will mold us and understand better the world. Specifically, it will develop our critical thinking about the world. So that's all for today's report. Thank you.